Hi, everyone. So in this video, I'm going to give you all an introduction to the industrial side of industrial organizational psychology. So this side focuses on the application of psychological principles to human resources practices, meaning the systems in place at organizations to make it more efficient. So this includes their hiring practices, training, and performance evaluations. Those would be the main three systems in place. In this video, I'm going to talk more about job analysis, which is how we get the information needed to make these systems better. So job analysis is the process of gathering information about jobs to determine the importance of the tasks and responsibilities, as well as the human attributes necessary to do well on the job. We're talking about this because it's sort of the cornerstone of IO psychology. It is vital for making all of these human resources systems that we're going to talk about more in class more efficient. So it's useful for many reasons, but most often after you collect information about a job or the type of characteristics needed to do well on the job, you can then better design trainings, select better candidates, and even define the standards of work performance. So what does it mean to be a poor performer or a excellent performer given a certain role? We can also use this information directly to write job descriptions, things you might see on Glassdoor or LinkedIn, that sort of list of expected task requirements, responsibilities, things you will need if you want to have a chance to get the job. We can also use this information to make other decisions, such as compensation or salary of a job, maybe based on how complex or difficult the tasks are. So we can use all of this information. Job analysis is an investigation, so it requires you to use the knowledge of the employees who currently do the work or their supervisors and ask them questions about the frequency and importance of their typical tasks. So this could be daily tasks, things that are frequent and they have to do often. But it's also sometimes the case that the most important tasks for a job are done somewhat infrequently, maybe once a month, maybe even once a year. So that's why we get both types of information, frequency and importance. And we call these employees, the ones who hold the job, we call them subject matter experts or SMEs. So we have them give us information about the job, and then we link these tasks to the knowledge, skills, and attributes, which we call KSAs for short, that are required for effective performance. So here, attributes refer to personal characteristics like intelligence or personality, whereas knowledge and skills are things you can learn on the job. So we can do this in a variety of ways, such as making surveys, conducting interviews, conducting focus groups, or we could physically go in and observe people doing their jobs. Here's an example of what a survey might look like that's trying to get some information about the frequency that employees use certain types of information. For this job, I think it's a design or engineering job. I'm not really sure. The important part is they give you some sort of rating scale and ask you how often does the employee use, say, written materials, books, notes, articles, as opposed to pictorial materials like pictures and drawings and blueprints and diagrams. So that's one example. And then really quickly, I just want to talk through another example. So let's say I was hired by Burger King to conduct a job analysis to determine what makes an effective cook. So the people who are actually in the back operating the grills, making burgers. I'd probably physically go in and observe the cooks working and make notes of the tasks that they do, such as reading the order screen, grabbing the correct ingredients, putting them on the bun in the right order, cleaning the grill, things like that. So those are the tasks. There are other ways I could get this information. I could ask them, I could interview them, survey them. But for these types of jobs, it's fairly easy to just go in and observe. So then I might ask their supervisors to review the list of tasks and then identify what knowledge, skills, or attributes are most important for these specific tasks. So they might say, well, you need to understand and have knowledge of the actual software, what buttons do what on the order screen so you can view the next order. You might need attention to detail, which is an attribute, so that you actually get each order right. Or you might need knowledge of safe food practices and food policies. Of course, these tasks and KSAs would be different if we were investigating the cashiers rather than the cooks. The cashiers might have more customer service oriented tasks and require different skills like listening or verbal speaking, or different attributes like extroversion, which pretty much just means how sociable or personal someone is. So the main takeaway here is IO psychologists can help develop accurate and valid tools for organizations by conducting a thorough job analysis and then applying it to HR systems.